Are we live? Is that?
Yeah, we came up and it said you're live.
We're good. We're good. We're good.
We're good.
So the button works.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Do you know what I'm going to try and do tonight? Honestly,
Bravo.
big celebration. Good job, Scott. The button works. But
Yeah.
tonight I'm going to have a celebration if I don't lose the screen while I'm live.
Okay,
Right?
that'd be great.
That'd be a big thing for me because I've figured out that what I've actually been doing is, so I'm a bit of a fidgeter. I double tap on the mouse and then the screen goes whoop, gone.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Warning for all those people that are joining us tonight: if Scotty disappears, he hasn't.
It's just he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, g'day, Darryl. How are you? Good to see you back here, Darryl. Thank you for tuning in.
Well, we mustn't have been that boring last week then.
No, it can't have been too bad. Maybe in the 2 hours, 2 hour, 20-minute session, we might have got a bit long in the tooth for a few people.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Well,
so we booked for 3 hours tonight, aren't we?
I've got 4, just in case.
Just in case we run over.
Just in case we run over. Oh, I love it. Well, Darryl,
yes.
Thank you again. We're back again this is our 5th episode.
It is.
And
5 weeks on the trot.
5 weeks on the trot. And we're talking about doing good, volunteering, doing good. And it's just evolving into this opportunity of just doing good and sharing good and being a part of good. And I'm loving it. And I'm loving the conversations we're having away from here, that it's just invigorating both of us and giving us the opportunity to really engage and connect and grow and create Recipro City. Recipro City.
What an address, right? What an address.
I love it. So first things first, mate, how are you?
Yeah, I'm mate, you know the answer to that. It's sensational and getting better. I've had an awesome day. It's been one of those days where you think that you don't get ahead until you actually sit down here 10 minutes before joining you and having a look at what was achieved today, and it was great. So yeah, productive, invigorating. Man, look, my days are always good. I'm blessed to be in the market that I'm in. I'm blessed to be dealing with the volunteering community, and just every conversation is with a good person. You know what I mean? So, like, how do you whinge, really?
I understand, because I'm the same, right? I live in this beautiful rose-colored glasses opportunity. But I do want to grab something, right? Because I did just ask you how you were, and you said sensational and getting better.
Mm-hmm.
What's the response you get from that? Because that's doing good. That's giving good off the bat to people. What are the responses you get from that?
Varied, varied. But one of the things about that response, and I'm a people person, right? I love to study people, I analyze people, and it's really funny because depending on who and what the attitude is already, like I can go to Coles and I know instantly how long you've been on your shift when you're doing my groceries, whether you've just started or whether you've been there for 8 hours already. Because if I say, when you ask me the question and it's mandatory, it's robotic, it's not intent, like they don't particularly care how I am, but it's one of those standard greeting processes and they go through it, and good luck to them, and they do. How are you today? I'm sensational. The ones that have been there all day, they look at me like you're weird. Like no one ever says that. The ones that have just started are greeted with that enthusiasm because they haven't been through the treadmill of the day already. So they go, oh, that's awesome. Like, wow. It's a real programmer. It starts to kick your brain off and go, and I've had people go, well, what makes you sensational? I said, how long you got? So, yeah, it's varied, Scotty. It's really interesting of the dynamic of how people receive that. It doesn't change me. I'm still sensational. You know what I mean? But it certainly gives you a glimpse at, what's sometimes going on behind the person that asked in the first place.
And I'm going to share a story about that in a sec, actually, because one of the things that I love doing, it's the same thing. It's like, how I say, fantastic, thank you. And you? What's this energy? I mean, because we're talking about doing good, but that's doing good from the interaction, from the start of the interaction. It's
Yeah.
just it creates a fantastic energy. Like, I'm so grateful when I go down to my local supermarket down there at IGA that most of the staff in there know me because I'm the guy with the big smile, and it's always, hey, how are you? But it's such a warm, engaging place for me to live in. Like,
Mm.
I've got my Recipro City down the shop, and
Yeah.
it's just epic. You know, I encourage people to try it. I encourage people just to throw a big, you know what? I'm awesome today. Thank you for
Yeah.
asking. How are you?
I think that's the big kicker too. That last bit you put on there, you know, and whether it's genuine or whether it's not, you know, it is to a degree out of people's comfort zone because you don't know what the answer is, right? If I say to you, "How are you today?" That's an open field. It's like it could be totally tragic to totally ecstatic, and any of the range in that. But the one thing I think really elevates the person that asked the question to think about the fact that they asked the question is that little thing. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
You know, thanks for taking the effort, whether it is robotic or whether it's not. You still did, and thanks for asking. And it changes the cognitive value. They've actually heard someone hear them ask and appreciate it. It's all those little things, and that's now the real snowball good, right? It's you did good to me, I did good to you, appreciated the question, you know. And if we want to get really carried away, then we can ask the same thing, right? Yeah, I'm sensational. Thanks for asking. What about you? Having a good day? I always ask the positive question, right? Having a good day. I propose the fact that you are, and if you aren't, well, you should.
Well, that's. I mean, maybe we'll bring that up a little bit, but
Okay.
there's something
Sorry,
in
man.
that I no, it's something in that I want to grab. But I
These
just
rabbits, man, they just keep popping up out of nowhere.
you and I are great at it. Whoa, rabbit hole! There we go. Crawl back up. But it's. I just want to paint a picture, right? So somebody's sitting there, they're going through the mundane shopping bits and pieces, and you've just given them fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you? And what is the energy transfer that they then give to the next person that comes through the counter?
Well, it has an opportunity to be better, right?
Yeah.
Whether it is or not. And as we've done our job, I've provided you the opportunity to be more enthusiastic with your next engagement or
And,
maintain your enthusiasm because you're doing a great job.
absolutely. And I think that's something that, I mean, I love that. And that's part of what the business of smiles is about, right? And I wish we had all the funding in the world and we could just I could just stay out connecting with hearts, right? However, that my journey is my journey, and it'll progress as it comes along. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But when I walk up to her, thank you for doing your best right now. Right? And I genuinely mean it because we all are, right? Sometimes our best is just getting up and about and, just getting out the door that day, So I love that opportunity. But I am going to share with you quickly a time that that I'm actually grateful that on me because I walk in with that enthusiasm and I really want to engage with people in places, the IGAs, the supermarkets, the wherever service stations. They're one of my favorite. And
They're usually a bunch of happy campers, aren't they?
Oh yeah, but I love them because I'll walk in and if they're no good, I'll run out to the car, grab a pair of socks, say, "Hey, I just want to thank you for doing your best right now," and really create a transaction. And they're like, "Oh wow, that's pretty cool." And then they give that to the next person that's in their heart. But on this one occasion, I was actually out in Ballarat, and I've gone up to the counter and said, "Oh, hey, how you going today? It'd just be nice to talk to somebody because I had all the self checkouts." And bang, she just snapped at me, and I'm like, "Whoa, here we go. Okay, something's going on today." So anyway, I went back to the car, grabbed a pair of socks, come back, said, "Hey, just want to thank you for doing your best right now." I said, "I know that response isn't you, and there must be something going on, but I just want to let you know that I appreciate you doing your job today. Can I gift you a pair of socks?" And then I told the story of what the socks are about, and it just hit her dead in the heart. She goes, "Actually, my son didn't want to be here last night." it's been a hell of a night. I'm a single mum and I'm really struggling. And I just said, thank you so much for sharing that. And we sat and we talked for 10 minutes. And what an opportunity that, because I bring that joy and want to have fun, that I can really recognize when someone is hurting. And I get that opportunity to go back, connect with my tool. My socks are my tool, right? They're my tool to connect with people. And in a moment, she was seen and heard. So
Awesome,
bringing that joy, it's also a two-way street, right? I get the opportunity to know when someone hasn't got it in their heart. So, I'm lucky.
Yeah. Well, you're not lucky. That's another rabbit hole we could go down the perspective of luck.
We will one day, but today I want to. Excuse me, I'm going to have a cough for a sec. Darryl, can you talk for a sec?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Look, I was going to say before you told that champion story there, the conversation we're having, check out. It's one of the things that we noticed, and to bring it back to volunteering and the firefighter mission, it's one of the things that we noticed. We talk about, and especially we've just been through National Volunteer Week, where we're promoting those fantastic volunteers that give to the community, and but sometimes we don't, and we really shouldn't have to wait to have a National Volunteer Week to put them on a pedestal. Those sort of comments. The volunteers are not robots either. They're real people. They have real passion about what they do, and I think all of us can do a better job of stopping and saying, from the heart, that thanks for doing what you do, because I appreciate you, and that you are doing the best you can to make our community better. We don't even the praise. I mean, the Firefly Initiative is about doing that and rewarding them as well, to go that little bit extra than just saying thanks. But we need to do a better job of saying thanks, and we need to do it every day, not National Volunteer Week.
I know in one of my darkest hours, I did Melbourne Ironman, and it was a fantastic opportunity for personal growth for me. And one of the things for me that I took away from that more than anything is I'm a bigger guy. I generally weigh in at 100 kilos. So Ironman, so I'm not, not your elite athlete, that's for sure. And so, but it's...
Well, your right leg is.
My right leg is, yeah, my left one's going to work a bit. But it's what got me through that event more than anything else was the joy of thanking the volunteers for their help. Like I did the half Ironman the other day where I was gifted out 150 pairs of socks. There's no way I should have done that on my fitness level. But the reality was, it was so much fun because I got to touch hearts. It was so much fun because I got to thank people. And the power of that for me, the strength that gives me, is just phenomenal. So thanking somebody and being a part of a gratitude opportunity, but it's not even gratitude, it's an appreciation opportunity. It's just extraordinary. Like the volunteers, and I was having a conversation with someone today who's part of an association. Now, association members in general, like the people inside the association doing all the work, are more often than not volunteers. The amount of effort they put in that's away from their families because they just love their industries.
Yeah.
Like, it's extraordinary. And it's something without them, our industries wouldn't be around. So the volunteering, it's everywhere. And the gratitude in that, appreciation, that genuine thanks. It's so important on so many different levels.
Well, when you consider that too, right? So as you're just saying, then it's unique, number one, and I would challenge anyone to disprove the fact that it's rare, number two, that we truly get to find what we're passionate about. You just said that these people do it, they love their industry. And you go, how much did they get wrong before they worked out that this industry was what they loved? And I'm not saying wrong as in mistakes, but that trial, and you go, you work here, and I don't really like that, and you work here. So to think the fact that some people have found a passion to give good, like you go, okay, so I found my passion, I want to be a brain surgeon. That's terrific. We need them. Do you know what I mean? But very few find that, which is why, you don't ever have anything done to your head because it costs you $1 million to get it fixed because they're so rare. Do you know what I mean? But each volunteer who has found a passion potentially for an organization, but more so in the giving of good, man, like they're another level, those people. Another level.
I am going to go down a huge rabbit warren. All right. So,
well, he jumped past the hole and went to the warren.
I'm going straight to the warren, right?
Look out, Warren.
So, so can I ask you seriously to put a seatbelt on because I'm about to break around here, right? So just a little bit.
Let me just kick back and relax.
Just get in, right? Because I'm going to share with everybody my main purpose. Hey, Lisa. Hey, bro. I'm going to share with everybody one of the big reasons for why I work so hard on my smile. And it's a personal belief. So you can take this and run with it, or you can throw it back at me. Either is fine. I'm happy with both. I truly believe heaven and hell are here on earth. And I think we live them in our latter days. I truly believe that if we work through life and we support others and we create joy, then people in our latter days want to be around us. People want to be around us because we've got that heart. We've gifted that opportunity. So we receive that love. So we're living in heaven here on earth. But the alternative is if we don't have the conversations we need to have, we don't embrace the opportunities that life gives us, then we can very quickly end up in hell, living in hell. People don't want to be around us. People don't want to engage with us, and we put our pain upon others because of the regret of the things we haven't had or haven't done, more importantly, but they haven't connected to. I have myself been lucky enough to sit with so many people with that regret and shame and pain. And it's gifted me the opportunity to really try and find my purpose, really try and find the thing that fills my heart. So then my heart's full so I can give it to others. I truly believe I'm living in heaven now. I'm surrounded by people with joy in their heart, and I get to gift it and it comes back, and it's just extraordinary. But I see a lot of people without that. And the reason why I'm sharing that here and now when we're talking about volunteering, it's because it's that journey of giving to others without reward, the volunteering or doing good that gives so many people the opportunity in their heart. You find your heart, there's a lot of things in life that come your way.
Yes.
Your thoughts on that, Darryl?
Yeah, look, that's I think that's more wormhole than Warren, because we really get sucked in the vortex then. And as you know, so not that I carry strong opinions on anything, but this one in particular, I think you're right. There is a tragedy and it reminds me. I don't know if you've been to a show or the amusement park, and there's the carnival of mirrors or the wall of mirrors or whatever it is, and you walk past this one, and it makes you look short and fat. And you walk past this one, it makes you look like a Harlem Globetrotter. And you walk past this one, and it makes you bulge in the middle. And you walk past. We keep walking past those mirrors until we find one that we like. And none of those mirrors are the reflection of us. They're all distorted to some degree. Do you know what I mean? And if you watch it, it's quite amazing. And people do walk past. The ones that stop at the ones that make them look fat always have a laugh. And it always surprises me when you go, okay, we shouldn't laugh at that one. We should make sure that it's a warning that we stay on a healthy path, and we go so we don't finish up looking like that one. You know, the ones that finish up in the tall, skinny one that always have a laugh as well. So I look at that from the perspective, like you just said, because I find it really interesting, and media is a classic example of this. You know, if we've got heaven and hell here on earth and we choose where we're going to dwell, right, then the media helps those people that are in that bad place gravitate to other people that are in that bad place. Or what's worse, try and bring people that are in a good place into that bad place with them. What we haven't got enough of, Scotty, is guys like you that know the right address to live in and go, come and live here. Like we have this society that seems, you know, the woke culture, or the whatever they call it, the what's that when they want to get you canned or banned, or they want to shut up, or you know what I mean? There's this what's the word? You know, like the whole social media gets on it and they try and get you to sack because you said something. And I mean, there's this negative connotation anyway relative to that.
Yep.
And I find that we have a society that's now easy to put up with that negative narrative. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're creating this position where we're trying to drag more people to the negative. This is what, to me, is what definitely changes the landscape when you got volunteers. Do you know what I mean? They don't advocate that they're doing good. They just do good. So by example, cancel culture. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, beautiful. Cancel culture. You know, we have this. Doesn't matter what you say, cancel. Doesn't matter what you do, cancel. Do you know what I mean? Because we have this negative mindset, this narrative that says, I'm in a bad place, but I want to bring you with me. Don't come into this bad place. I'm dealing with, I need help to get out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I want to burden you with my sorrow or trouble or whatever. I want you to join in my walk, which is tough, rather than those people that live in the right address go, no, I want to lift you out of there. And again, this is what whether volunteers are actually helping in any healthcare, you know, it could be sport. It's the same thing. You know, I mean, every time a volunteer does something good, is helping to lift you out of that place. And so they're invaluable. Anyway, and that's without going into the wormhole about the theology behind that statement and the subconscious narrative behind that statement, because it is easier just to go hard. You know, it's really funny. Like, hard is a 4-letter word. There's other 4-letter words that we use as expletives, and good is a 4-letter word. So whoever created the English language made it really easy. 4-letter words are good. Because good's a 4-letter word, right? I just, you know, look, it's that whole magic wand, Scotty. If you just wave the magic wand over society and go, okay, hands up all those that want a chance. Boom, here you go. Do you know what I mean? Hands up all those that want to whinge. And one's going in the pocket. Can't help you if you want to whinge. And if that upsets some people, well, you know what? They're probably the whingers.
You and I are both very happy to trigger and be triggered. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's an opportunity for us to grow on every circumstance. And I had a fantastic conversation with Jerome Lamarck about that earlier in the week. And it's It's interesting because maybe I lived through rose-colored glasses, but if you know my story, it's taken me a lot to learn to live through rose-colored glasses,
Yeah,
and that's actually been the biggest opportunity for me to become me.
yeah. Look, and I don't think you do. I know you say that, and from the optimistic point of view,
Yeah,
I think that you've just worked out, and that you like to see the good movie. You're not going to waste your money on the bad movie that's already got a bad review. That you go, why would I now go and spend $15 realistically just to test the theory to see whether or not it is that bad? And you do, and you come out and you go, that was terrible. Do you know what I mean? So instead of, because you see what's happening in the world, you see
yeah,
tragedy, you
yeah.
see struggle. So it's not like you live in rose-colored glass. Like if you did, that wouldn't exist. Do you know what I mean? I think the optimistic view of saying, hey, listen, I want to experience the good movies. I'm happy to pay for them. I'm happy to, if you want me to clean the cinema afterwards, I'm happy to do that. You know, if you want me to give socks to everybody in the cinema, I'm happy to do that. Just let me into the good movie.
I'm sorry, I'm smiling because there's so much coming out at the minute. I really have to do this, and I'm sorry I haven't put enough many comments up, and I'm going to focus
Uh-huh.
on bringing up more comments.
Yeah.
Bronwyn, I can't thank you enough. I did something terrible to Bronwyn. I gave her no notice, and I rocked up on her doorstep. So I just want to say, Bronwyn, mate, you've made my hair look fantastic with the smiley hair clips, but a really big thank you for being in my life. I'm loving having you in these conversations and engaging. So I really appreciate that. Oh, there we go. Oh, and I came back. Oh, yes. I lost the screen and I've worked out how to come back. Yes. That's a winner. Sorry, that's a little
That
bit
happened so
exciting.
quick, I didn't even see it. I
I
must have
know,
blinked
right?
at the same time.
I made it happen. That's
Do it again.
woohoo.
Do it
Right.
again, prove it wasn't a fluke.
No, okay. All right, now I'm gone. Right. Woohoo!
You didn't go anywhere, man.
No, but I did. Like, as in, I can't see
Oh,
the screen and stuff, so
yeah. All right,
it takes
okay.
me a bit sideways. So I love it. So, and I love that. Helena, thank you. Great comment. I can't put it up because I love it. That's very much
Yeah.
where it's at, but I agree. So I do want to
That'll
grab
be the
this.
last time I invite anyone to join us.
Oh,
Lena, so good on you, Lena. Nice, good job.
I love it. A bit of brutal honesty.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get kicked off air just yet. So, so I think it's key for people to know that they can choose their movie. So many think that what they are watching is where they have to stay. And I really want to dance
Yeah.
with this for a second, right? Because
Yeah.
I was very grateful for a mentor quite a few years ago. Talk about your input determines your output. I very, I very much I very much I very much focus on what comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I focus on which Darryl, you've been amazing at helping me get clearer on the influences I have in my life, right? All of those things are super important into what I project in life.
Mm.
Actually making a conscious decision, and there's something for me that I actively do is with people. When people pass comment to me, I ask myself, do I want to be that person? If they're giving me negative feedback, do I want to be that person? If the
Mm.
answer is no, then it's just water off a duck's back. If it's yes, that, you know what, I actually want to be like that person, I need to take that negative feedback and go, okay, what do I need to change in order to get that closer to be what I can see in front of me so I can be like, you know? And it's something for me that has served me very well,
Mm.
you know? Like I love it. Your thoughts on that, Darryl?
Yeah. Instantly, I had a moment of sadness there about those members of our community at the moment that don't have that opportunity. They don't have a mentor. They don't have that person in front of them that says I want to be that person, or do I want to be that person? Do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of us that can do a better job of identifying those, and it's really, look, we have so much now going on about the identification and, are you okay? It's great to ask the question. And, I'm really looking forward to seeing No, I'm Not campaign. It's because what I'm a real what happens next sort of guy. And you can have a conversation with someone with a negative attitude that's giving you negative feedback that you think is of no value. And good luck trying that on me, because you will be challenged on your negative feedback. And not from a point of being righteous, from a point of saying, is there another way to look at this scenario? And it's interesting you say that, your input determines your output. And I think somewhere between 52 and 58, I woke up one morning and I went, I felt wiser today. Like I feel more like my granddad. I feel that I need to say less and listen and have far more gravitas on what I say, not noise on the volume of what I say. And as we all know, and anyone that's joined us for 5 weeks knows that both Scotty and I can talk. I lost my train of thought now. No, that's how I felt. I felt this disposition of. So my life is now more. I think more about my output than my input. What makes a difference to me is what I give to you, not what I get from you. I'm a studious guy. I study. We had 2 swear words in the house for the kids that they couldn't use under any circumstances. One was I can't, and the other one was I don't know. And my granddad gave that to me. I don't know is lazy. Think about all the times when someone asks you a question, go, I don't know. It's easy, right? Easy. I don't know. That's a mandate that we had. No, I don't have the answer at the moment. Let me find out, get back to you. I'll look that up. That's a really good question, but I don't know was not to come out of the kids' mouths. And I have to live by that virtue. So when they ask me a question, I'll make sure that's a good question. Let me find the answer for you, or let me find someone who's got the answer. And I would research. So I've been really fortunate that I've had that sort of studious mind. But now that transition in my life, that wisdom has come from, what can I share with you that may have some of the background and experience or knowledge or just a friendly, good word that says it's okay. I was talking to this young bloke the other day who's like stressed about everything. Of course, I use so you're stressed, right? And he goes, yep. Oh, yeah. I said, stress doesn't exist. And he goes, what? I go, stress doesn't exist. And he said, yeah, it does. I'm stressed. I said, mate, stress is an emotion caused by inactivity. You think about it. I'm stressed about a bill. If I don't ring him, if I don't negotiate, if I don't do something, I'm just stressed about it. As soon as you ring and say, hey, listen, I can't pay you. Whatever you're going to do. I can't pay you, or I can pay you this way, or I can do this way. Instantly you feel better. Instantly, categorically. Circumstance hasn't changed, but you feel better because of the activity. I said to him, what stresses you out most? My girlfriend stresses me. What's she stressing you about? We always argue. I said, yeah, as we shared the other day. I said, well, stop arguing. He goes, how do you do that? I said, if you start it, don't. If she starts it, just say, hey, listen, sweetie, I don't want to participate in this conversation. You won't be stressed about it. You will feel better about it. So yeah, in light of what you just said, Scotty, that's the mentoring role, right? Is the input affects the output. And I'm now in that position where I'm happy to be output. And I'm mindful now, deliberate, not just ramble, like I'm deliberate. If you have something that's bothering you or you need some help with, I'm really deliberate on my output. And I think we all could be. I see people, like, give you another funny story. Like, I was standing at the traffic lights and this lady was standing there. She must have had like a 4-year-old. And those are the traffic lights, and they were first installed, that. Yeah. And anyway, so this is a really tight corner. So traffic lights are really close together. This little kid had let go of his mum's hand instantly. And the traffic lights, they were crossing the street this way. The traffic lights that were crossing this way went off, which was walk that way, not this way.
Yeah.
Anyway, this little kid has heard the gone, that's ours. Didn't look for the little green man. He just started walking. Well, cars are now going this way. She's grabbed him, pulled him back in off the street onto the footpath, lifted him up and starts wailing on his butt, right? Discipline the kid for scaring her because he's walked into traffic. So I just walked over and I said, excuse me, can you put him down? She goes, what are you? What? Shut up, nothing to do with you. I said, excuse me, can you put him down? And she went, mate, just mind your business. I said, okay, I'm going to ask you politely for the last time. If you don't put him down, I will pick you up and start banging on your backside. I said, the kid made a mistake under your care. He's not looking after you. You're looking after him. So who should be getting wailed on at the moment? Do you know what I mean? The mindset of people does my head in.
I'm going to grab that because Jeez,
everyone must have been at the pub before they got on here, Scotty. They're all loose lips tonight.
But I want to grab that for a second, right? You and I have had experiences in our life that have taught us to deal with things differently and to take responsibility for our actions. Does the conscious living is what I like to look at it through. Her reaction on positive came from.
Sorry, that's gold, Lisa. Thanks.
And a sec. She absolutely is a pirate, and we love her very much.
That's funny. That's funny.
But we've had experiences that have taught us and educated us differently, right? Where we understand that. So we need to be able to have these conversations and talk about these things in a positive manner so we can understand, break it down, have context, because her experience has taught her that was the right thing. If she was here listening to this, now, after your interaction with her, there's a possibility she'll be thinking very different about her actions. And I think that's the thing that I'm silencing triggers, silencing people's opinions, silencing people's don't talk to me sort of scenario. We take away that opportunity to learn. There was an education piece that you weren't aggressive in. You saw the bigger picture. That is a lesson that child will take going through life. Okay. How can we do that better? We create context. We have bigger conversations. We do this. We break things down. You have something you want to throw into that?
Oh, just, that we've been conditioned by society too, unfortunately, that don't get involved, which is an attitude. And I'm not advocating that everybody, has that potential martyrism about them that will step up in those circumstances like I did, But I think we can all do a lot better of stepping up in the circumstances that are good. It takes, we work a lot with a charity up here that are on the street, pretty much like you, dealing with the homeless. And those guys are they're sometimes affected with, mental unwellness. Sometimes it's drugs, alcohol, So in today, there is today there is this I don't know culture. Like, I'd like to to step in and say, are you okay? But, there is ice and there is this, and we see all the media about all these things that go on. So there's a lot of us will just stand back and go, you know what? I don't want to risk getting involved. I don't want to risk personal injury or complication or whatever. And that's fine. And I'm not advocating that anyone does, because it takes a unique character to look past that to the desperate need of the individual. Like stepping in when this mum's wailing on a kid. You have to be, and I'm fortunate that I'm the sort of character, again, but I don't care what you're going to say. You're doing the wrong thing, and I'm going to tell you about it. Do you know what I mean? But if we all did a better job when the circumstance is easy, like when someone has done something good for us, or those sort of things. Look, it's a hard culture. You can't open the door for anyone anymore. And I think that's one of the plight that we have as blokes. And no offense to all the wonderful women in the session, but there is a lot of, and I'll speak to, my daughter's 21 and she's got her friends and they've all started dating and all that sort of stuff, and these kids, these blokes, they're lost. They would like to be chivalrous, but they can't, not allowed. But then when they're not, there is backlash on it too. So I think if we all lifted our game a little and just doing that bit extra when it's not a tough circumstance, like when it's a good circumstance, and honor and respect those good circumstances, then we get to do what you do anyway and pick the good movies. You know what I mean? And don't necessarily have to step into the land of fear.
I want to grab this, right, because this is something for me, and then after this I'm going to jump on a Omji. Can you just give me a comment in the comments if you're still here, because I do want to address that. I will always open the door for a woman. I will always open the door for a man. It's out of respect and courtesy that I will do that, right? It's just to say that I see you and that I'm here to say, I value you being here, so I'm going to open the door for you. If I can make your life just that fraction easier, if you're upset about that, that's yours.
So I'm going to jump on that, right? Do you do that because it was done for you?
Probably. Because I'd have to, because I've had the experience to tell me the importance of it.
Yeah. So for our younger generation, how do we convince them that just if the door needs to be opened for someone, just open it.
Just open it. Like it's 2 seconds. Just like, hey, I am. Right. Yeah. But it's, and I'll dive into. I want to go down there now. However, I want to honor this question, because one of the things that you and I committed to is if people come up with a question, we're gonna open it up and have a conversation, right? Because I think that's really important. What if you work 10 hours straight without a break? Does that create physiological,
psychological,
physiological stress? That's. Can I get some more context around this? Because
it's easy. I'll just answer it straight up. No.
Yep.
It creates fatigue. It creates tension. It doesn't create stress, because the physiological part of that is, what does it do to my overall being, not my mental capacity to think about it. There's two things. Stress is actually an implied physical term in physics relative to the stress of a particular against force. When I am stressed in the head, that is an emotional factor that I'm trying to convince my body of. So when you talk about working 10 hours straight, if I work 10 hours straight at my desk, the only thing is tired is my brain. But it's not stressed, it's fatigued. There's a difference. And unfortunately, we get to that whole process where, and we talked about last week about different labels, right? If we got rid of them all, and there is this overuse of stress, because the stress is the next catalyst for anxiety. You start stressing about the future. So now you become anxious about the future. And then if you can't deal with that anxiety, you get depressed about the future. And I firmly believe, and have done all my life, because it never existed, and we've got farmers in our family that worked 18 hours a day. And they got home, had a cup of tea, they were buggered. They weren't stressed. They went, oh, dear, I'm not going to be able to do this tomorrow, because it just has to be done. Do you know what I mean? So that process of how do we think versus how do we act, there's no doubt in my mind that if you're doing any sort of physical work and you work 10 hours straight, yeah, you're going to be knackered. Doesn't really equate to stress. Your body's fatigued. Your body needs nutrition. It needs rest and recovery, but it's not stressed.
How's that go, Omji? I'm not even going to enter into that one myself, only because, oh, here we go. When I actually had 50 patients in 8 hours, my jaw was clenched. It felt stressed. So what is that stress?
It's
It
fatigue.
felt stretched. It's fatigue. It felt tight. It felt...
Yeah, anything. I mean, you will experience it when you run between Melbourne and Sydney.
Yeah.
Your muscles...
As in something trying to bend its natural rhythm.
Yeah, it's anything to do with our anatomy, our body, not our brain. And that's the thing is, and I ask you the question, Omji, was the muscles in your jaw, because it was clenched, fatigued, tense, not relaxed, not functioning? And because there's a whole heap of those things, right? If you're clenched for 8 hours, the lactic acid starts to build up, all those sort of things that we already know, right? Or were you mentally stressed about your jaw being clenched for 8 hours? You weren't. You weren't mentally stressed about it. There is impact on the body. There's one of them said, it's not always a bad thing. No, it's not. It's the word that's the bad thing, not the condition.
So also the power we give to it, right?
Correct.
So because that's...
My mind is good, bro. I love it. Excellent.
Darryl, honestly, Omji's is a beautiful man. I love spending time with him. I haven't spent enough time with him lately, and I need to rectify that.
Good.
But I really appreciate you bringing that in, Omji. That's a good one to throw in there.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the condition, and to get it back to the volunteering sector as well, it's one of the things that we looked at. They call it volunteer fatigue.
Yep.
Versus volunteer stress. Like we met with a president who's now, he signed on to do the job. He's done a great job, built the club, all that sort of stuff. He's been there for 12 years and now has to advertise to try and get someone to take over his role. So he is in that definition stressed about next year. Oh, I'm going to have to do it again, because if no one, I can't leave the club to go to rack and ruin simply because I want to get out. You know what I mean? This is what you're talking earlier, Scotty, when you talk about those people that are passionate and love their industry. So he was in that process of starting to now transfer into the level of anxiety about that particular part of his life. But he's a rational, non-stress related thinker. So he compartmentalize that, yeah, that's causing me a bit of grief, a bit of concern, got to do something about it. But it doesn't then create stress in the rest of my life. And this is what happens when you throw these umbrella or these blanket terms. It's really easy for people to grab them all in and go, oh, this is what I am. I got into a big punch on with my wife's cousin, who, no offense to any government employees, if there is any here, I apologize in advance, but not to her. Anyway, she came over one day. Right, here's a government employee. She's on flex time, right? Start when you want, finish when you want, clock on, clock off, all that sort of stuff. She comes over at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a cup of tea. I said, "What are you doing here?" And she goes, "Oh, I decided I need to have a couple of days stress leave." I went, "What? Stress? How do you get stress moving a piece of paper from this in tray to that out tray?" That's my head in. You have the cushiest job. You're really not responsible to anyone. You can't get sacked because the Australian government doesn't sack anybody. Do you know what I mean? And here she has been on stress leave. It's the over-exaggeration or the the opportunity for us to grab some things and not really think about what's going on. Do you know what I mean? My daughter did it this week. She rings, oh, I'm so stressed. I go, no, you're not. Shut up.
I
What?
Well,
Well,
there's
there
quite
goes me opening the door for you, Beryl.
it's brought up a bit for me, like, and
But that's just my opinion, Scotty. You know.
yeah. Well, I'm going to give you an opinion about cancel, right? And it's something that just a spade a spade. I was really pissed off, right? Because I had a massive tree at the front of my old house. I tried to get rid of it because it's tea tree. I lived in a street where people flew up. My mum, who's disabled, couldn't park up the driveway because she couldn't see coming out. So she had to park across the road and walk across the busy road to get into her house. 8 years this went on. And I'm like, oh, can you come and trim it back? Can you do something? No, mate, it's all protected. So anyway, eventually I was so annoyed that I wanted to get involved in council, right? And then I looked at what council does. Anyway, I got in contact with the mayor, and listen, I've got a real problem at my place. Can you come over and have a look? I've been in this argument for 8 years. I said, he goes, yeah, that'd be great. I'll drop in on the way home. I said, brilliant. I said, what time? So I wait out the front. Anyway, so I saw him come up. I said, just drive up the drive. Oh, actually, I've got to get my car out. Can you reverse out? He goes, I can't see anything. Voila. Right? Voila. It was gone the next day. Right? I said, my disabled mum has to walk across this road because of that tree. But I was told that I'll get a $20,000 fine if I touch. So anyway, the reason why I bring up council.
And that was the end of your life of council.
Yeah. No, well, it was actually interesting because one of the things that I wanted to bring in my mind was if someone calls up with a complaint, go around with a small bunch of daisies, say thank you for calling up.
Oh, wow.
Listen to their complaint.
Okay, you know when I said that you don't live in rose-colored glasses?
Yeah.
That was a rose-colored glasses statement, that one.
But imagine, right? So because one of the things that
Imagine if you didn't have to ring up with the complaint in the first place.
But how much better would that be, right? But like the whole point of it is don't get 1,000 phone calls. Deal with the one that's at hand with gratitude, right?
Yeah.
And it'll stop things, and you'll be able to work through things. But then, as I was looking through the council, I'm looking at all the things they do, from Meals on Wheels to running the bins, to like all the things they do. I'm like, wow, it's a big egg, right? And then, just me being me, I went and sat down the council offices and just sat there for half an hour, right? And I just listened to people come in.
Yeah.
And every single person was whinging at him.
Yeah.
Right? We've got a whole department of council people that are just being bombarded with complaints consistently. What's their output going to be?
Yeah.
They get that piece of paper and, oh, shit, am I going to get in trouble for this one?
Yeah.
And put it over there, or not deal with the pile, right? So in the essence of doing good, if someone does something good, let them know.
Yeah. Oh, look, and it's easy to change the vernacular. I mean, imagine when you ring the council next time and you go, hey, listen, I've got this issue. I'm just ringing up to find out how I can help. Not how you can help me. How can I help you? But I just want to get back. Lisa mentioned it. If someone can educate people in the workplace on how to manage pressures. One of the things, if I could just jump in on that for 1 sec, just to give you a heads up. Because I'm the one that went into the whole stress conversation, right? So one of the things that I see all the time, especially with the companies that I consult with as well, and it's always worked for me in relation to that. Two things. One, aptitude or skill and priority. So if I said, Scotty, I've got 5 things I need you to do today.
Yep.
It's this, and this. Do you feel comfortable doing all them? In other words, do you have the skill and aptitude to be able to complete those tasks?
Depends on what those 5 things are, but yes, I do.
Well, let's assume you go,
Yep.
yeah, I can. 4 of them, easy. Done about the
Yep.
5th one. Okay, let me take the 5th one off your plate for a minute. Do you feel good about it?
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay. Now, the other thing is too, I need them all done today, but in which priority do you think that you would handle those?
Which one's most important to you, Darryl?
What's really important is you get it done.
Okay.
So which one do you want to handle first? Because I don't care.
Can I tick the easiest one to get that
Sure.
done and dusted, then go through to the next one? And then,
With that, yep.
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 Is
So
that okay?
in that, yeah, perfect. In that process, now I've given you a clearly defined objective, a clearly defined list of things that you are capable to do, and the opportunity for you to set the priority in which to do them. Instantly, my pressure at work is decreased. Instantly. Because you are in control. Even what's most important to you. Doesn't matter what's important to me. What's important to me is that those tasks get done. And what we do is we release you into control, into opportunity, and you feel good. And especially when I go, realistically, I only wanted you to do 3 things, but I gave you 5 and took 1 off the table. So I've relieved your burden of pressure as well.
But it's that simple, right?
If that helps, Lisa, yeah.
but
it seriously works almost every time. And what happens next is there a review at the end of the day relative to how you went. Now, if you didn't achieve them all, then it's Scotty. Tomorrow I'm going to give you 3 things to get done. And then if you get time to get back to the one that you didn't get done yesterday, that would be awesome. Now, Scotty's ambition is to prove that he is worthy and that he's going to respect me if he does by having all 4 done today. And you'll find your productivity for people goes through the roof, like through the roof.
I've never ever had an experience where I've put more pressure on somebody that it's been a positive outcome. When I literally pour pressure on people, get this done without context, without having a bigger conversation, it really does go sideways. So
see you, Lena. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
nice
make sure you work on that script tonight too. Don't bail.
There we go. I'm not privy to that one, but I'm glad she's here tonight.
That's okay.
Thank you, Helena. So, but it's I think we're just on that, right? How does it feel to have Helena turn up tonight?
Look, it's epic. You know, and now that she's left, hopefully she is, because if she hasn't and she's just gone to say goodbye, so they'll say something nice about me. I'm going to say something nice about her. And I'll say this to her face as well. Lena's a crazy cat, right? She's awesome. She's out there. She is such a. I've never really met anyone that can be so radical and conservative in thought all in the same sentence. Like, she is just so good. Her ability to brighten a room with her enthusiasm. And I consistently remind her, because given new tasks, this is like we talk about pressure, right? We talk about stress. These are the implied things. Give her a new task, and she is instantly into the self-doubt, self-judgment, because it's new. And I love that about her, and it annoys me as well, because she's such a talented individual. And man, she can write. She writes some stuff. So yeah, look, she's really a real inspiration on our team. We love her, and yeah, we're just happy, and it was so good to have her join us this evening. So no doubt there'll be commentary about this tomorrow.
Giddy up. Look, and that's the more involvement we have in the conversation, the better, right? And
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
happy, like as proven with OMG. Do you know what I mean? We are prepared to be challenged with conversation. You know, between the two of us, we'll definitely have a crack at it. And if we don't know the answer, guess what? We'll come back next week with some information about it. I think
Don't know is not a acceptable answer now.
no, we don't do that. We'll come back next week with some fantastic knowledge about a situation. I do want to grab something before we go because
Right.
I just heard something that I think summarizes the conversation tonight. Implied pressure and stress. Just came out of your mouth.
What? Implied?
Implied pressure and stress.
Yeah.
And that for me needs to be opened up very quickly because I think right there, implied pressure and stress is the actual answer to stress. It's implied. So what is it? So I'm going to ask you to explain that to me.
Right. It takes longer than a minute because I'm a think feel guy. I had a think feel.
Explain that.
Think first and feel next.
Okay.
A lot of people run off, they feel something and then they think about it. And I'm not. I'm a think feel. And when I have a thought or there's a question, e.g., like, can you now explain implied pressure and stress? Right. So this is a think question, not a feel question. You've asked me for a definition. So that's really easy for my brain to go, right, it's right side, it's factual, it's narrative, it's not emotional, don't need an emotional response. But unfortunately, a lot of us feel first. Oh, how do I feel about that? I don't like. I made it up on the spot. Sounded good. Sounded like I was a bit clever. And now he's called me on it, and now I don't really know how to explain that. So I start to manufacture a response based on my emotions, and that's I see it everywhere with think feel. And I said to some of the guys, because we were talking about this at church the other day, because most of us are all feely sort of guys, like we don't hide behind that emotion. And I said the same thing. I said, in the practical reality of life, do you think or feel? And they went, I probably feel. I go, okay. So let me ask you a question now from and going back to Omji's sort of thing about the physiology. If I was to take your heart and your brain out of your body and put them on a table, which would die first?
I know the answer, so I'm going to wait.
We'll both wait for a while. Anyone?
Okay, yeah.
Anyone, put an answer in there. Come on.
Heart or brain? Heart or brain? Go.
Which one goes first?
Drum roll, please.
I think really? We're 103. They must have all gone. All left.
Everyone's bailed. They had enough.
Everyone's gone.
Heart or brain? Which dies first? Surely. Heart.
There we go. Spot on. Thank you. Quick answer.
Lisa.
You win. What
does she win?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Congratulations, Lisa. You've won
the major prize, which is an invitation to come back next week.
Woo!
Yeah. So I go on that basis, right, that everything about our anatomy and our physiology, right, is stimulated from the brain. Motor neuron functionality, conscious functionality, subconscious functionality, all of that is the catalyst. So we think first. And when you get to be able to control your emotions by thinking first, then you suffer less of these symptoms. Because I go, here is a bill I can't pay. Emotionally, I'm upset that I can't pay. If I start to try and deal with that on an emotional basis, of course, it causes all these other things. But here's a bill I can't pay. The reality is I can't pay it. Now I need to communicate with whoever wants the money that I can't pay that bill. And I now use a logical approach to how I can handle that bill. And I'm done. There is no emotional content to it. I used to say to people when they talk about the value of money, And in one of my roles in the finance sector, I would always take $100 bill out and I'd stick it straight on the table. And I would go, can you ask that bill how it feels? What are you talking about? I said, this is just a piece of paper. It has no emotional value. It has a practical value. You can exchange it for goods and services. So when you get emotionally wound up about your financial position, when you get caught up about associating money with emotion, no, you're always doomed. Doesn't matter if you've got millions, then it's never enough, or it's too much. It's a logical process. You need enough money to achieve what you want to do. Simple. It's a mathematical equation. So the implied pressure and stress is, if I know as a staff member that you don't have the capacity to undertake a task, and I give it to you on the basis that I haven't articulated that this is a trial. I just want to see how you go with this task. I'm not really expecting, that it's going to be great or that you're going to do really well. We could both be surprised, and it could be something that you just flourish in. But I'd like to see if we can grow and give you some more responsibility by achieving different things. That doesn't imply any pressure. Therefore, it can't imply any stress. But if I just say, Scotty, I need you to do this for me, knowing full well you have no idea like where the button is on this thing, like, you know what I mean? Then that automatically creates its implied pressure. I would need you to take over as the facilitator for this chat. Never done it before. Work it out. Oh, I don't know how to do that. Now I'm under pressure. What if I get it wrong? What if I turn everyone off early? What if I stop all the chat? All these what ifs. This is the anxiety process about the manifestation of things that aren't to come. They're not going to happen. Just click the button. But if I say, hey, listen, how about this week we walk through that process so I can get you to be, the administrator for this thing. Now I've got no implied pressure. But we just don't. We expect people to want to lift themselves up to that game, and we give them no respect in doing that. We need to value the good that they're doing and say, if you could do that, like there's a really good book for anyone that wants to read it. It's called Monkey Management. I was horrified and like laughed my guts out at the same time. There's a management technique, right? There's a management technique. This is about getting monkeys off your back. And in management, we're burdening ourselves with more and more tasks that we shouldn't be. Monkeys are climbing all over us. Do you know what I mean? So this one thing was really good. It was interesting. So when you ask someone to do a report for you, or write a paper for you, or write a blog for you, or write something for you, or just compile something for you, monkey management technique number one is that when you send it, Scotty rings up and goes, Darryl, I'll finish that report for you. I'll send it through to you. I go, great. And the next day I'll go, you know what? I reckon you've probably got a better report in you. It was okay, but I think you've got a better one. Now, guess what? Scotty will go away and he'll go, yeah, and you've got time to rewrite another one, but I reckon you can have another dig. What do you reckon? Yep, no problem. Now, monkey management says, don't even read the first one. Your instant response is, I think you got a better one in you. Now, in 2 days' time, Scotty will come back and go, look, I've rewritten it, I've pulled it apart and all that stuff. The one I sent you, I reckon it's the best I've got. Now I'll read that one. Otherwise, you will give me another report that's better. Now, if I want to be cheeky and I go, I reckon that one was so much better than the first one, but I still reckon the best is yet to come out of you, Scotty. How about have another crack? And you'll rewrite it the third time. I still haven't read either two. Like, it was insane. When you think about how much burden we get on, like my daughter, she made cupcakes. She says, you want to try a cupcake? I go, don't know. She goes, what do you mean, don't know? So they're the best you can make? Well, look, I put a bit much of this in and a bit, I go, how about you have another batch and let me try the really good ones? What does she do? Makes another batch. Like, it's insane. It's insane. But this is the latitude of not implying pressure and therefore not creating any stress. I've said to you, it's a really good report, but I reckon the best of you is yet to come out. are you going to go, what a dickhead? Like, why would he say that? Because I reckon the best of you is yet to come out. Now you're inspired to give me your best. If you like me, if you think I'm a dickhead, you'll go, mate, I've already sent you the report. That's it. That's all you're getting. Okay. Guess what? Clearly defined the attitude of those people that are on the game and no one's an arm. There's so many of those sub layers of that process that we could spend 6 hours talking about that. Just that. Sorry, I do ramble. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Like,
sorry, guests.
No, but it's an interesting ramble, right? So, like, I'm sitting here smiling every week. I gotta unpack my jaw because I'm smiling so much listening.
I'm sure give you a massage. He did 8 hours with clenched jaws. He knows how to get them loose.
Yeah, he's just clenched today. Mine's smiling. It goes a bit.
Yeah, same muscle, man. Okay.
Yeah, it is. So, giddy up. No, well, I'm enjoying this, though. I'm really enjoying this. You know, like we're sitting here and we're enjoying each other's company. But for me, the engagement from everybody through the comments is just wonderful, and
yeah, it is
I
awesome.
I really value it, and I really want to thank everybody for being a part of this conversation, because doing good can be implemented in all of our lives in different ways, and can better our lives simply by doing good, becoming a volunteer. And volunteering can literally be volunteering the good that you've been taught from other people. It's teaching somebody at a traffic light that, you know, what the impact of her actions are, that maybe she may be able to make a different decision next time. You know,
yeah.
I really value that. So, Recipro City, let us know if you want to come and move in.
Yeah. Hey, now listen, just before we go too, just want to have a plug out there for anyone that knows any of the local NFPs, charities, you know, community service or sports clubs out in the West. We've got our spectacular launch of a world first event happening on the 29th, actually. That's not this week, that's next week. So we'll probably get next Tuesday in before we do that, but I'll give it a plug now.
No, we won't.
So no, they were the 29th and 30th.
So that's next Tuesday. We're not here next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday we won't be. Yeah.
Should we come in live just for a quick 5 minutes to say g'day?
Why not? We'll see how we go.
Just pop up live.
You can drum them all up.
Yeah. I'll do it. I'll do it live.
Anyway, so yeah, look, if you want to see us in action live, and jump on the Firefly Initiative, send us an email, we'll send you out an invite. It's a world first, Scotty, because we're actually giving away live cash sponsorships and fundraising for community organisations.
I'm going to be there.
All they have to do is attend. Yeah. We've got a magnificent sponsor. They've got some corporate responsibilities relative to their social impact and their social contributions. And fortunately for us and the Firefly Initiative and our membership base, they have chosen for us to help them manage to do that in the most effective way. So it is a world first. I don't believe in 38 years of being involved in sponsorship and fundraising that I've ever seen a live event where checks are handed out on the night just for turning up. Come and listen to the story. You can reach out to Scotty, or you can connect with either of us on LinkedIn if you'd like to attend and you're out at the two venues are Caroline Springs and Point Cook out the Werribee, Laverton, Airport Way. Love to see if you're involved in a NFP, and we'd love to give you some money. So I just want to get a little plug in there. And if anyone wants any of the details, just reach out and we'll send them to you. Or if you know anyone out there that's in that position, look, at the end of the day, money's tough at the moment, certainly for charities. And so we've been hugely blessed by this opportunity, and it's the start. It's the start of what's to come. We're looking at undergoing the major area of work relative to their social contribution for next year, which will be epic. Certainly over in your neck of the woods, down in Frankston Way. It's fantastic. So yeah, look, we're just super pumped that that we get from the volunteer side. You know, we have our rewards platform, and volunteers can accrue their time and then go shopping, which is terrific. But for the orgs that they support, funding is the whole thing that keeps the wheels turning, the mechanism going. So it's terrific for us to be having the opportunity to hand out cash. It's like, it's so bizarre after 38 years being in sales, where I'm ringing asking you for money. Now I'm ringing people saying, hey, would you like some? It's just it's crazy good. So I want to get that plug in anyway, man.
I'm actually, I'll do a bit of promo over around it. Actually, I'll put up some posts about it because I think it's really important.
Yeah.
So, because especially at the moment, money is tight, and if we can support each other, that's where the magic is. So,
you bet.
On that note, thank you everybody for popping in tonight, saying g'day, and being part of a conversation that both Darryl and I, am speaking on behalf of him, because I know how much he's enjoying it. I know how much I'm enjoying it. I know how much we enjoy connecting with you. It really fills our hearts, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Darryl,
just as a personal, selfish, egotistical closeout. Just before we go, if you want to put in the chat if you'd like us to keep going, it'd be great to hear, because we're happy. And Scotty and I, we had a half-hour chat planned, which turned into a 6-week. We're up to week 5, but we've already talked about, you know, maybe the conversation is too big to try and fit into 6 weeks. You know, maybe the conversation should be opened up and get some of you to join us live in the chat as well, not just sitting there watching, you know, all you camera shy people. But yeah, look, love to get your feedback on whether you are still not with bleeding ears to sit there and suffer these two crazy guys having a yak.
Well, listen, I think I'm pretty sure we're going to get at least one person on over next week, actually. Whether they like, actually not next week, so they'll be the following week.
Yeah.
Lisa Westgate, would you like to join us? And then I think we'll get Darryl Wilson on the week after. May as well get everybody in, or we can actually bring everybody on. I can get up to 10 people on this stream. So
yeah, that'd be a wild chat, that one.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So Omji, mate, absolutely. Let's maybe we'll open it up. Maybe the next one will be an open slather. We'll come in and have a big conversation. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, I'll put up a little post about that, and you've been nominated. Lisa Westgate, you've been nominated. I love it. I lost the screen and I got back again. I'm in. I'm a
3 times in one night.
Genius.
Look out.
I love it. On that note,
Scotty's been fantastic being here again tonight, man. Love your work. Love your heart. Love what you do.
Dancing with you.
I love how good your good is, man. I love how good your good is.
We're together, yeah. So, mate, love you. Thank you so much. And now I've got to find a button.
Keep smiling, man.
So just imagine. I hope you're smiling, Darryl.
Yeah, I am smiling, man.
All right, now just imagine that you actually had control of this. How much smoother that would run.
Yeah, so, just go like that. Click.
Can you see the button there? Like,
no, I don't have a button. No.
Just smell.